That reflex. Let me put this up. Just had a random thought. I don't even know how to ask this question. Just thinking about detention facilities that label themselves as rehabilitation centers. Buildings, governmental agencies that incarcerate people with addictions and call themselves rehabilitation centers. My knowledge, don't have experience being locked up. My knowledge, people, I don't know what I've seen, what I've read, are anything but rehabilitation centers. My personal opinion, what I was just thinking about, the point of view I want to share, is they are government institutions to control and enslave people. So basically, they make those who are incarcerated prisoners of war on their war against drugs. That was my point. That right there. How could they consider themselves rehabilitation centers when they are anything but rehabilitation centers? And those actually incarcerated by these departments are really just prisoners of war in our justice system, our government war on drugs. I think that needs to be reevaluated, revamped. I've read some of the programs that have been passed by our state, Congress, whatever. How as a parent, if you're found, I guess, guilty or with drugs in your system, the goal is not to incarcerate you, it's to get you help while keeping you with your children. So you don't lose that bond, so you don't lose that time. But from what I see and what I know, kind of what I've experienced, they do anything but that. They take them from you. They rip you of your rights. And they then take control of your authority being a parent. It's very damaging to more than just the parent-child relationship. I don't understand how this can be written into law, but not being enacted, not being followed, not being implemented properly. I've met so many people who've been incarcerated on a drug charge, whatever, CPS case, find drugs, their children get taken away from them. If they're lucky, they have a family member that can care for them, and they get to be a part of their life still, depending on their relationship with their family. But for the most part, they rip our children from their parents, put them in homes with strangers, who in all honesty, no matter how deep of a fucking background you do, you don't never know a person. So poor children are already in the welfare system. State's custody of the state. You know, I can't even imagine how many of those children have been subjected to sexual violence, to trafficking, by some criminals that don't have the history or record, so they can, participate in such a program to foster and make money off the government. I'm not saying all of them are bad, because fostering is a beautiful thing. I think those who have genuine love and care should foster. If you can't have kids, adopt. It is a goal of mine eventually to adopt, not babies. I want the youth. I want the troubled youth. I want those who have survive tragedies in their life. I want to be able to help guide them to where they don't go down that path that is expected of them. Jails, institutions, and death. So yeah, random thought. Went on to a rant. I had to get it off my chest. So, time to tackle this fucking mess. Guarantee, if I work in your office, it won't look like this. It'll look a lot better. Your piles will shrink to clean desk space. I, for my own personal self, can't get my shit organized to save my life. Someone help me, please.